Ooh, we are live. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? So, I am being intentional with showing up more across all of these different platforms, working to add value to ensure that we are doing something different with our finances and not going into this next year the same way as we've been before. So if you're watching, please comment, engage with me, ask questions. It is my hope that this is time well spent. For those of you who don't know me, if you are watching on somewhere that is not my personal page, my name is Tremaine Wills. I am a financial planner, investment advisor. I own a company called Mind Over Money, where we help entrepreneurs, business owners, and ambitious go-getters create financial plans, invest, grow, and protect their assets through our rich roadmap framework. It is my passion to help serve and provide financial education, financial literacy. And so, Mind Over Money and the Four Comma Collective, these are like the loves of my life, right? Helping us manage our finances better and alleviate financial stress. So, today I'm going to dive into why we shouldn't rely on Social Security to take care of us in retirement. And so, if this is something that you think will be beneficial to you, stick around. I was doing some research on the different ways they plan to make modifications to Social Security. And what I got to say is for us, millennials and Gen Z, it ain't looking good for us, right? So we want to get ahead of the things that are coming and to not be afraid and go into it with a plan. So I'm going to talk through some of these things today. But yeah, so as I mentioned, like this is what I do day in and day out, helping create financial plans so that people are more confident in the decisions that they make around their finances. And it's easy to decide what types of investments that they're going to put themselves in, right? When you have a financial plan in place, when you have a retirement strategy in place, it helps you cancel out some of this noise so that you don't have to feel like everybody's telling you what to do online. You have a plan in place that you follow, you stick to, that's in alignment with your goals and the vision you have for your future. So if you don't already have something in place that you're following that outlines how you're going to best leverage your assets, I highly encourage you to kind of sit down and take some time to do that. A couple days ago, I talked about goal setting with your finances. And so if you're not already connected with us on Instagram, you can follow the Four Comma Collective. That is our community that is on a mission to help 1 million people grow their invested assets to $1 million or more. And we're doing it through teaching, promoting financial literacy, and just creating a space where it's safe to talk about money. So follow us there and you can watch that live on what I talked about goal setting. But today I want to talk through why we shouldn't rely on Social Security income, right? But before I do that, what I want to say is that if you don't have a financial plan in place and you are looking to connect with me to see if I'm a good fit for you, if I'll be able to help you out, you can comment invest 23, and that's one word. Let me put it across the screen so you can see it. Invest 23 in the comments, and that will help you get started in this next phase to see if we're a good fit. So awesome. But yeah, so let's dive into this conversation. Reasons why we should not be counting on just Social Security alone. The bar for full retirement age appears to be getting pushed back again, right? So if you've been around and you've been paying attention, you've probably heard that Social Security income or the Social Security like bucket of money is expected to be depleted over the next 10 years. And so for some of us, that is incredibly concerning. especially since we probably won't even start retirement in the next 10 years or so. And so when you think about, okay, well, what are they going to do to accommodate, to fix and address this issue? A lot of the conversation is around pushing back full retirement age again. So they've done this already where it went from 65 to 67. And that process was initiated in 1983 with the Social Security amendments. And so what it did is it gradually pushed back the full retirement age. And so you're still able to draw Social Security early at 62 if you desire, but it significantly reduces how much of that benefit you get. And if they push the full retirement age back again, it's going to continue to decrease how much you get if you take it even earlier, because it'll be a larger gap between the earliest time you can take it and full retirement age. And so for every year that you take it before full retirement age, that significantly decreases the amount of benefit that you get, right? One of the rationales behind pushing back full retirement age is that it appears that we are living longer. So, decades ago, the life expectancy was not into the late 70s, right? And so having people retire at 65, you weren't anticipating that they were going to be in retirement for 10 years. But what new statistics are showing is that some demographics are living well into the late 70s, right? And so the justification is that, well, because people are living longer, then it makes sense to push full retirement age back. Another reason why this is part of the conversation is because it gives them time to continue to collect more in payroll taxes. So if you have people working longer, right, and full retirement age is not 67 and you move it to 70, then that's an additional 3 years of collecting payroll taxes from what they're paying into, right? So that helps rebuild the fund, and then also theoretically reduces the length of time that they're paying out full retirement benefits. So the conversation around like full retirement age being pushed back and when you're going to be eligible to receive your maximum benefits is one that can put some uncertainty in a lot of us, right? And so one of the things that we can do as folks who are not quite at retirement yet is take it into our own hands, right? Instead of hoping and praying that there will be full retirement benefits at the time that we retire, we can just decide that we're going to plan to fund our retirement ourselves, right? No longer are the days of pension programs. If you do happen to find one, this is like few and far between, but like most employers are putting the responsibility on the employees to do the investing and to take control of how their assets are invested. So if you want to live a desirable retirement and you don't want to be subject to whatever the new regulations are, and that's the only bucket of money that you have, then you have to be intentional with how you are planning for retirement now. The way that you do that is you have some sort of strategy in place. So even if you don't work with a professional financial planner, every individual should be sitting down and identifying, okay, when is it that I want to retire, right? So you need to identify what that ideal age is going to be, how much you want to come home in retirement. So if you're currently bringing in $5,000 and you're like, okay, I want to live a similar lifestyle, then at least plan for $5,000, right? Taking into consideration inflation, all that great stuff. And then how are you going to replace that income? So instead of me having to work to get paid the $5,000, how am I going to bring this money in every month so that I don't have to work anymore? So retirement is not an age, right? Retirement is a available asset amount. How much money do I have so that I can stop trading time for money? So I think a lot of us, especially as we are younger, we kind of like have retirement in the back of our head because it seems like, oh, that's so far away. I'm nowhere near 65, 67. But the reality is you don't want to wait until you feel like you're close to that age, because now you have to save and invest more aggressively. But if we start this process in our 20s, 30s, early 40s, we can make the load lighter so that it's easier for us to retire in a comfortable manner. So what I would encourage you to do is, if you don't already have a financial plan in place, I need you to comment Invest 23 so we can hop on a quick phone call so I can talk you through some of your options so that you don't continue to feel lost in this process, right? The best time to plan is yesterday, right? So one of the best things that we can do, especially those of us who are longer that feel like we have a lot of time, is to take advantage of time. The more time that I have, that's the longer I can generate income, accumulate wealth, and make those assets work for me. And if I feel like, well, maybe I am running out of time, I still want to take the initiative and sit down and decide, okay, if I feel like I'm in a time crunch, what needs to happen so that I still can retire comfortably? Sometimes we just put our head in the sand and we say, you know, it is what it is, and let the chips fall where they may. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to decide to take control, because we have an opportunity to make a shift. If something is not going in the direction that we want it to go, we can take it upon ourselves and figure out, how do I course correct? And that's what a financial plan can do for you. It can help you course correct and figure out exactly how much money needs to be where, doing what, so that when it's time to use those funds, they're available to us. Okay. So, if you feel like you can benefit from a strategic roadmap that identifies where money should go, how much the return should be, the types of investments I need to make, my debt payoff strategy, like even down to like how much should I be budgeting every month, right? I encourage you to comment Invest 23. We'll hop on a quick call and I'll talk you through your options so that you don't have to feel like, you know, retirement is this big scary thing. It isn't. It really is just us deciding, how do we leverage the assets that we have, the resources that we have, so that we don't have to keep working, right? Retirement is not an age. Retirement is not 65. Retirement is when my bank account says, I don't got to go to work no more. And that doesn't have to be 65. That can be 50, right? It can be any age, as long as the bank account says I can do it, or as long as my assets say I can do it, right? Because it's not going to be just in your bank account. So I hope that this talk was helpful. If you haven't been paying attention to things like Social Security and what's happening with Medicare and some of these other federal programs, I encourage you to tap in, right? Not saying that you should be an expert, but these kinds of things are good to be abreast of, because it gives us an idea of, you know, what is the current state and how do we take things into our own hands so that we're not deeply impacted by changes that are being made. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you're not already connected with me on Instagram or TikTok, I highly encourage you to get connected there. I've been going live in the morning for the past couple of days, just sharing content like this. So if you're seeing this and you were on my social media page this morning, this is the similar conversation. But get connected there so you can have more resources as we talk through what's needed in our community so that we're not facing the same financial struggles over and over and over and over again. One of my desires is that we move past the same financial problems that we've been having, right? And we move on to the more money, more problems, right? Those are the kind of things that we want to deal with, not the same thing we've been facing for the past 5, 10, 15 years, right? So if you feel like you've been stagnant and you need a push to do something different, comment Invest 23. We'll hop on a call and identify, like, well, what are these blocks and how do we move past it? So have a wonderful night, everybody. If you're connected with me on Instagram, until I figure out how to stream in multiple places, I will see you tomorrow around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time.